Our programs are getting better and fresher. And it's because we are thinking about you.
Good evening and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I am Runke Kolawole. Thanks for joining us. Nigerians have been encouraged to exercise patience and bear with the Buhari administration as there is a new hope that good things await the country. These were the views of speakers at a town hall meeting and dialogue for good governance in Abuja. The Sultan of Sokoto and Chairman Supreme in promoting the change agenda of the present administration and wants others to follow suit. There were presentations by Ministers of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, Budget and National Planning, Udoma Udoma, Finance, Kemi Adeosun, Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Raji Fashola, Agriculture and Rural Development, Audu Ogbe. Others include Health Minister, Professor Isaac Adewale, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Jeffrey Onyama, Solid Minerals Development, Kayode Fayemi, and Environment, Amina Mohammed. They gave accounts of government plans and programs so far and expressed hope that with discipline and continuous exhibition of the true spirit of perseverance, Nigeria, as a progressive nation, will come out of recession. Meanwhile, Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, says the town hall meetings are helping in fine-tuning government policies to meet the yearnings and aspirations of the people. Lai Mohammed, who joined other guests on Good Morning Nigeria today, stated that the town hall meeting provides credible platforms for Nigerians to air their views on government's policies and programs. Lydia Sampson monitored the discussion and presents the highlights.
Town hall meetings provide one-on-one interaction between the people and government with the sole objective of getting feedback and charting a way forward. Discussants on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria are of the view that though much has been achieved, more can still be done. While commending the concert, they cautioned against the meeting turning into a monologue rather than dialogue. Minister of Information Lai Mohammed assured Nigerians that the town hall meetings are not in any way censored.
It's not often that our town hall meetings is an endorsement of government. As a matter of fact, we learn more from those who disagree with us than those who agree with us. But the important thing is that we have been able to create a platform through which we can communicate to Nigerians and also Nigerians can communicate back to government.
He said the meeting, in addition to hearing from the people, had afforded government the opportunity to explain and clear misconception about government in some quarters. Other guests called for greater participation of grassroots women in view of the critical role they play in nation building.
Before, it was an explanatory tour, telling Nigerians where we were. Now it is from so time to now, this is what we have been able to achieve. Now, in doing this, you are able to extract certain issues that will drive policies.
If you want the people to own a project, to be part of your developmental projects, then you must get their inputs from the beginning.
In a swift reaction, Minister of Information gave an assurance that exclusive town hall meetings will be organized for women and youth, as well as special interest dialogue on policy direction of the present administration. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
In other news, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has cleared the air over the personal travel allowance agreement for programs, which has sparked an outrage in the past week. Addressing the issue, Governor of the CBN, Godwin Emefiele, said it was not a concession as erroneously painted, but a fulfillment of a long-standing agreement.
It is an obligation that somebody feels he wants to perform. So There's nothing like saying it is not important, and we should not ascribe the level of importance to people's personal, I use the word personal interest, either to go for pilgrimage or to go for a business travel or personal travel or for summer travel.
The central bank said it will be inappropriate to return to the pilgrims who had committed their funds for this purpose long time ago for an upward review to tally with recent foreign exchange rates when the agreement reached were done with the now contentious amount. In Abuja, Leah Kachung Babatunde, NTA News.
Elsewhere, financial and legal experts have called on the federal government to remove all legal impediments that stall the widening of financial inclusion for low-level businesses in Nigeria. This call came at a roundtable organized by the Nigerian Institute of Advanced Legal Studies in Abuja. Femi Okeowo reports.
Traders like this abound in Nigeria. So recent World Bank statistics have it that 39% of such traders in Nigeria have no access whatsoever to any kind of funding. The idea behind financial inclusion, therefore, is to see how government can bring such traders on board and empower them financially. But first, are there any legal or legislative obstacles that impede government's intentions? Legal experts who came together at the round table say this must first be cleared in the interest of Nigeria's economic productivity.
What we have found in the course of this work is that there are so many regulators, so many supervisors. There's the need for strategic partnership.
What we want to do with this roundtable, apart from awakening consciousness, is also to interrogate the legal framework.
The central bank and SMEDAN, who are at the center of government's financial inclusion policy, both agreed that the nets should be widened.
Financial services should take diversity into cognizance, and it should be made to suit, made for purpose. And when we've looked at all those three things, easy access, suitability, broad range of options, it should also be affordable.
We are looking beyond just accessing finance in form of loan. We are looking at the ability to be able to make payments.
Resolutions from the roundtable are expected to be forwarded to relevant government agencies for action. Femi Okeowo, NTA News.
The federal government, in collaboration with International Water Management Institution, has introduced a smartphone application for flood forecasting along Niger and Benue rivers. The aim is to put farmers on alert as well as provide them the opportunity to utilize both surface and underground water for dry season farming. Musa Baba Aliyu has the details of that report.
Flooding is among the major environmental challenges affecting agricultural activities in Nigeria. On an annual basis, tons of crops and number of livestock worth billions of naira are lost due to flooding, thereby threatening food security in Nigeria. The smartphone is expected to forecast and provide data on the amount of expected rain, the ground moisture before and after commencement of rainy season.
What this app does is to provide that early warning opportunity to be able to take necessary remedial measures to ensure that lives are protected, agricultural production.
Quality assurance in education covers such areas as improving quality of teachers, provision of textbooks and other instructional materials, teaching and learning processes, as well as governance. It represents a radical change in thinking from the former practice of school inspection to a monitoring and evaluation process, especially with a working handbook as a guide to achieve educational quality service.
The fact that quality education ranks number 4 on the list of sustainable development goals and the present government's focus on quality education all attest to the need for this handbook.
The handbook was reviewed by relevant education parastatals and international development partners to capture emerging issues in basic and secondary education that align with global best practices.
The Universal Basic Education Commission, in collaboration with State Universal Basic Education Boards, SUBEBs, have conducted the 2014 capacity building of quality assurance officers in the 36 states.
It is even more important to have the tools and processes in place to monitor and improve quality and equity in the education system.
The idea is to promote uniform and standard education quality assurance process and practice in the basic and secondary education system. Franca Uzoma Olua, NTA News.
Thank you, Franca. And as airlift of programs to Hajj commences, let's join our Lagos Network Center for a situation report and other stories making the round from that zone. Abdullahi is our guide. Hello, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too, Ranke. It's been a wet day in Lagos. The first batch of Muslim pilgrims to Saudi Arabia for the 2016 Hajj have been airlifted from the Lagos zone. Kane Egbeluge reports that the pilgrims were airlifted by an indigenous airline from the Murtala Mohammed Airport, Ikeja, Lagos.
17 pilgrims from Osun and Ogun State from the southwest are the first batch of more than 5,000 to be airlifted from the Lagos zone. The Commissioner Southwest of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, who witnessed the airlift, said all arrangements concerning this year's Hajj have been concluded to be hitch-free.
For the first time, almost all Nigerian pilgrims will be landing in Medina, which, unlike the other previously, where you land in Jeddah, when you land in Jeddah, you have to travel for another 6-7 hours before you get to Medina.
He urged pilgrims to stay away from acts that are capable of tarnishing the image of the country.
One new thing that we have introduced this year, that the National Hajj Commission has introduced, that what we call wristband, is like electronic tracking. You'll be able to track all our pilgrims. That wherever any pilgrim is, the track will be able to say, he is there.
To be good ambassadors. Let them feel fulfilled to do the righteous thing and make sure that they make this country proud and pray for the country.
Some of the pilgrims spoke on the significance of the program.
Whoever is blessed by the Almighty Allah should embark on. Whoever is rich in Islam must go to Hajj as one of the pillars of Islam.
I'm working for it since, but I'm thank God because I'm come across with it now.
A total of 80,000 pilgrims from Nigeria are expected to participate in 2016 Hajj in Lagos. Ken Igbeluge, NTA News.
One of the mandates of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is the continuous voters registration and collection of permanent voters' cards by Nigerians who are eligible to vote during elections. Abola Ogbara reports that many, however, may be disenfranchised during this coming elections. This is due to poor turnout of Lagos residents for the collection of the permanent voter cards at various local government offices of INEC.
Some of the major challenges facing the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in the build-up to the 2015 general elections are voters' registration and distribution of permanent voters' cards across the country. While several newly registered voters were unable to collect permanent voters' cards, a major requirement for accreditation, several old registered voters with temporary voters' cards also suffered similar fate. In Lagos alone, over 2 million PVCs were not collected before the general elections. This has raised the issue of continuous voters' registration and collection of PVCs early enough to avoid the pressure when elections are getting closer. A visit to some local government offices of INEC shows that registration of voters is not continuous as expected, while a few people trickle in to collect their PVCs. This development is an indication that many registered voters are yet to see the early collection of their PVCs as important.
That time when we do it, they told me that the ink has finished, so I should come for it. So that's when I travel.
My own is not among the one that they brought. I get the times and they say it's not ready.
Efforts to speak with officials of INEC in Lagos was unsuccessful. NTA News, however, gathered that the directive is being awaited from INEC headquarters on registration of voters. It is, however, a consensus among many respondents that INEC needs to do more on voters' enlightenment and the need for early collection of permanent voters' cards. In Lagos, Abolore Ogbara, NTA News.
And that report ends nationwide from Lagos. It's back to Ronke, who has more reports in Abuja. Ronke.
Thank you, Mohammed. You spoke about Lagos having very Wet day today. Well, where I am this time is very cloudy there, so there is hope that we're still going to have our fair share of the rain later in the day. Thanks for joining us on the news. FCT Minister Mohammed Musa Bello says he will sanction officials of the FCT Social Development Secretary over gross neglect of destitutes and facilities at the FCT Vocational Rehabilitation Center in Kuchingoro, Buhari. This was when he paid an unscheduled visit to the center, as reported by Mitaire Ikmen.
The FCT Vocational Rehabilitation Center is meant to equip beggars and destitutes taken off the streets with vocational skills for 6 months to make them self-reliant. But the place is a shadow of itself with moribund facilities, while the trainees can barely feed themselves, according to the principal of the center, Bala Soho Musa.
I was not given enough money to feed them. It got to a level that I got indebted.
Lamenting the condition of the center, which is overgrown with weeds, the FCT minister says drastic measures will be taken against FCT social development officials who contracted the maintenance of the center to a private company, while the contract has since expired.
This place does not need a lot of money to really maintain it and make it operate. It's simply carelessness of officials, carelessness of people not willing to do their work. How much does it cost to cut grass?
Institutions to provide sub-loans to the trainees to enable them set up their businesses. Furthermore, he said a number of youth will be deployed into the agricultural revitalization program, where each local government will open large farmland which will be allocated to young farmers. He then called on all stakeholders to help in molding the character of the youth to make them responsible and receptive to government initiatives which are aimed at making them responsible members of the society.
As you all know, one of the cardinal objectives of the APC administration is the eradication of poverty through the provision of job opportunities to the people. The distribution of the tricycles is therefore aimed at providing gainful employment to the internally displaced persons and their host communities, with the aim of improving their economic status.
In a goodwill message, representatives of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Muhammad Lawal Tahir, commended the effort of the state governor for achieving his aim of including Bauchi among states benefiting from the program. He said the program, which kick-started in the Northeast, initially Bauchi was not inclusive, but with the effort of the state government, Bauchi became the second to launch this program. Earlier, the State Commissioner for Commerce and Industry, Alhaji Abubakar Ghazali, has said that the state IDPs are not discriminated in the scheme of things, and that these tricycles are aimed at alleviating the sufferings of the IDPs and some of their host communities. In Bauchi, Babeta Fidamiso, NTA News.
And taking on some bilateral issues now, Nigeria and Equatorial Guinea are to strengthen bilateral relations on economic and security issues for the well-being of both countries and the citizens. The Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Usani Ogurusani, made the disclosure in Abuja while playing host to the ambassador of Equatorial Guinea to Nigeria, Job Obiang Mbegone, during a courtesy visit. Mr. Usani appreciated the visit of the ambassador and recalled the bilateral security agreement between the two countries in March 2016. He noted that collaboration of maritime security between the two countries demands commitment based on their strategic location in the Gulf of Guinea. He revealed that a platform will soon be created to ease investment between investors from both countries as a means of improving their economies. The minister also disclosed that there are investment opportunities in maritime, coastal and manufacturing, among others, for Equatorial Guinea investors in Nigeria.
In the affairs of insurgent activities, which are also aided by the importation of small arms and illegal or illicit entry of arms into the country. And this is why we will be very pleased at the due adherence of your country's activities to this agreement that we have with your country.
The ambassador of Equatorial Guinea said that his country is very interested in things that happen in the Niger Delta, as happenings in the region affect Equatorial Guinea. He said one of the aims of his visit is to find areas where his country can invest in Nigeria.
106. If you see something, say something. Nigeria unite against terrorism.
This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Inward money transfer and funding of Bureau de Change, a most critical segment of the economy. This is the focus on the NTA Tuesday Live this week. Tuesday Live, informative, educative, interactive, and engaging. Don't be told. Join us.
We intend to radically change Newman Street. My company has a track record of converting slums into new cities. Many years of experience has taught us to fish out allies within the communities we want to transform.
Don't listen to your husband. Listen to me. Give me a boy. And the two of you may never even have to work again.
Sharp guy, how are you? What's your name?
Akpos. America.
Oh, Akpos America.
Yeah, one. Love it too.
Wonderful wonder. Wonderful wonder.
Digital technology and information is changing the world. For our children to stay ahead and compete globally, they must evolve from being users to creators of technology. Digital Peers International, in conjunction with partners, is organizing the 16th edition of Digitest, tagged ITpreneurship, a roadmap to a sustainable future for children aged 8 to 18 years and school teachers. Dates: August 24th to September 2nd, 2016, Abuja. Kids will be taught on how to code, design and build mobile and desktop apps. For registration and participation, visit www.digitalpeers.org or call the numbers on your screen. The digital revolution has already begun. Do not allow your kids to be left out.
This is a sheer exhibition of your primitive atavistic tendency.
Any student who does not donate to my ministry will not be blessed by the ministry.
A phenomenon that defies the norm. A comedy and social satire that touches all, bears all, and shakes you up like never before.
Yeah, like after now you go say na me they talk all is about the thing where they have for this one.
Glow presents Professor John Bull, the biggest thing on your TV this season. Starring Kanayo Okanayo, Mercy Johnson, Queen Wokoye, Yomi Fashlanso, Funky Madam, Ime Bishop, Bimbo Akintola, Oguz Baba, Bidemi Kosoko, Junior Pope MC for God, Stephen Odingwe, and a host of other mega stars.
Within April 12th, there is a Yura. Intellectual Prepara.
Professor John Bull, every Tuesday and Friday, 8:30 to 9 p.m. on NTA International, NTA Network, and Star Time.
Over and out.
The largest data network, Glow Unlimited.
We formed the APC from day one with the intention of changing the direction of Nigeria. We believe Nigeria is an African power and can be a major powerhouse in world affairs. But to do that, we need to change our direction.
It can be done. This country cannot be written off. It can be done. And this country will still lead Africa. We're making steps, slow steps, moving on. I mean, it took the Americans 200 plus years to get where they are. We're moving.
Glad to know you're still watching Nationwide on NTA Network Service. Oyo Police Parade suspected killer of state lawmaker Gideon Aremu. Daoju is our guide on this and other report from our Ibadan Network Center. Hello, Daoju.
Okay, good to see you. Good evening and welcome to Ibadan. The Oyo State Police Command has paraded 4 suspected killers of the late member of the Oyo State House of Assembly, Gideon Aremu. Correspondent Oyeyinka Folaromi also reports that a new commissioner of police assumed duty in Oyo State.
The suspects paraded are Ayobami Adedeji, Adeniran Oladapo, Karim Isiaka, and Sadiq Adedeji after an investigation carried out by detectives from the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, and the Oyo State Command. The suspects were arrested at their hideout in Bere area of Ibadan between 9th and 14th July, barely a week after the incident. Principal suspect Ayobami Adedeji said the gang had no knowledge of the status of the victim but intended to rob him of his valuables. He explained further that the fear of being identified by the victim made them to kill him and made away with his money and a mobile phone. Commissioner of Police, Oyo State, Leye Oyebade said confession by the robbers had laid to rest the insinuation that the killing of late Honorable Gideon Aremu was politically motivated.
That no criminal will commit crime of that magnitude in the state and get away with it. For the fleeing suspects, we will get them in no distant time.
In the meantime, Commissioner of Police Leye Oyebade has handed over to a new commissioner redeployed to Oyo State Police Command. He is Samuel Damilola Adegbuyi in Ibadan. Oyeyinka Folaranmi, NTA News.
Intending Muslim pilgrims to this year's Hajj from Oyo State have been urged to pray to Allah for solutions to challenges facing Oyo State. The state's governor, Abiola Ajimobi, gave the charge while addressing the pilgrims ahead of their departure to Saudi Arabia. Here are details of the report.
1,358 pilgrims are to perform this year's Hajj in Saudi Arabia from Oyo State. At the farewell ceremony at the Hajj camp Oludo in Ibadan, Governor Abiola Ajimobi advised the pilgrims to be good ambassadors of the state and Nigeria while in the Holy Land. He enjoined them to pray for the country and the state to overcome economic and social challenges facing them. Chairman Muslim Pilgrims Welfare Board, Haji Taufik Akeugbago, said all arrangements for a successful religious right and welfare of pilgrims have been made.
They should prepare their mind for some days when there will be thirsty. They should prepare their mind for some days when they will be extremely tired, yet they must continue moving.
The first batch of over 400 pilgrims will be airlifted on Tuesday, while subsequent batches will leave the country on Saturday, Sunday, and next Tuesday. In Ibadan, Femi Afolabi, NTA News.
It is believed that good food is key.
The ewedu is not as much like before.
Agricultural expert speaks on the nutritional benefits of these vegetables. Apart from the high nutritional content, these indigenous vegetables are of economic value as they are cheap and can become source of income for vegetable traders. Experts have therefore called for a regular inclusion of these vegetables in family diets. In Ibadan, Kemi Oshin, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from Ibadan. Runke is back to you for continuation of Nationwide. Good afternoon.
Thank you so much, Daoju. The Rotary Club of Abuja says it will embark on programs and projects that will help government address many social ills and imbalances in the society. The president of the club, Dr. Jonathan Achumie, disclosed this at his investiture as the 4th president of the club. Daniel Mensim has the report.
In the gathering during his investiture ceremony as the 4th president of Rotary Club of Abuja New Dawn District 9125, Nigeria, Dr. Jonathan Achumie said his tenure will bring a positive change towards the less privileged and the vulnerable in the society.
There's a need for more hands to be on deck to assist our brothers and sisters that are dying of both hunger and other diseases.
The immediate past president of Rotary Club of Abuja New Dawn, Mrs. Christiana Okoli, said apart from its contribution towards the eradication of polio in Nigeria, the club has engaged on many humanitarian services and projects, thereby giving it visibility at district and Rotary International levels. They include
payment of WAEC/NECO and school fees to indigent students, donation of educational books, learning materials and toys to the schools through the support of the district.
Many supporters and donors to the club's projects and programs, as well as Rotary Foundation, were recognized and rewarded. The Rotary Club of Abuja New Dawn was chartered on the 9th of November 2013. In Abuja, Daniel Manson, NTA News.
Time now to join Femichit in our Just Network Center with a report on the security situation on the plateau and other stories making the headlines in that axis. Over to you, Femichit.
And welcome to Jos. The Commander Operation Safe Haven, Major General Rogers Nicholas, says more personnel will be deployed to all flash points in Plateau State to further sustain the existing peace in the state. The commander stated this when he visited some communities and military bases in the state. Ben Mitu takes it from here.
The security chief was in Loton, Riom local government area, where he assured the inhabitants who have been displaced from their homes and farmlands of more security personnel. Addressing officers and men of Sector 9 in Riom, the commander urged them to be disciplined and operate within the rules of engagement, as human rights violations will not be tolerated.
The issue of you also insulting civilians as supposed to protect, we will not accept it. The issue of you molesting anybody or harassing anybody, we will not accept it. Is that clear? Yes, sir. It's not part of our mandate. Remember, these people are protecting our people. All right? That's why we're here, to protect them, so we should not cause more hardship for them.
The commander and his team was in Bokos to condole the people of the locality over recent happenings in the area.
They've also laid 1 or 2 complaints, and we also agree that we're going to reinforce troops, additional troops to them where complaints are.
The management committee chairman of the 2 local government councils visited called for close collaboration with the security outfit to bring lasting peace to the areas. Major General Rogers Nicholas, who took over the mantle of leadership of OPSH barely 2 weeks ago, was also at the 330 headquarters of the Nigerian Air Force, Jos, where he called for synergy to achieve greater results. In Jos, Ben Mitu, NTA News.
Bauchi State Governor Muhammadu Abdullahi Abubakar has called for a quick intervention of the Federal Roads Maintenance Agency FERMA to rescue a portion of Bauchi-Ningi Kano Road, currently under threat of cutoff as a result of heavy downpour. He was speaking when he visited the scene at Mulka near Sangaya in Ningi local government area of the state. Babayo Tafido Misal completes the story.
Inspecting the wash-away part of the road at Mulka in Gajwa local government area of Bauchi State, Governor Muhammad Abdullahi Abubakar said the road is a link between Bauchi, Jigawa and Kano states, and that his government will not allow its total collapse in view of its economic potentials to the state. He said an interim measure will immediately be put in place to secure the road from total collapse, as it is an important trade route to not only Bauchi State, but to other states like Gombe, Taraba, and Adamawa states.
We are here, we have seen the situation. You have estimated as an engineer that if the next heavy rain happens, this road may be cut off. I am not going to wait for that. So I'm going to order for the immediate commencement of remedial action.
Earlier, an engineer with the Federal Roads Maintenance Agency, Brian Augustine, told the governor that the road may likely be cut off in case of any heavy downpour if action is not taken over the issue. The road, which is a federal highway, has been faced with threat of collapse almost every rainy season. In Bauchi, Babette Videmiso, NTA News.
Bauchi State government is subsidizing the cost of fertilizer to farmers to boost food production this year. The state governor, Muhammadu Abdullahi Abubakar, announced this while distributing fertilizers to farmers in the state. Again, Babayo Tafida Miso has the details.
Abdullah Abubakar said initially the government feared that in view of the national economic downturn, the state may not adequately finance fertilizer project, but it is possible to pay for 20,000 metric tons, which is equivalent to 600.
A distribution of soft loans to farmers in southern part of the state, as reported by Pauline Kujevana.
Represented by the Deputy Governor Usman Mamandirkwa, Governor Kashim Shatima said the fertilizer will be sold at a subsidized rate of 3,500 naira per bag as against 10,000 naira in the open market. He noted that following the restoration of peace, government deemed it necessary to assist farmers engaged in crop cultivation this farming season. In addition to fertilizer and other farm inputs, 200 million naira has been approved to be distributed as soft loans to farmers in 5 local government areas of Biu, Bayo, Howell, Wayakusar, and Shani. 9,000 bags of NPK had been approved for the southern zone of the state. Commissioner for Agriculture, Mohamed Aliyu Dili, and Managing Director, Borno State Microfinance Bank, Zainab Kolo, urged beneficiaries to ensure judicious utilization. Before departing Biu, the entourage paid homage on the Emir, Alhaji Usman Mustafa Aliyu, and also launched the distribution of drugs donated by the state government to 6 general hospitals in Biu and Shani Emirates. In Medjugorje, Pauline Kujevana and
free clinical breast examination in any hospital so that if they have breast lump, it can be detected early and they can be cured.
The Vice-Chancellor, University of Benin, Professor Faraday Ruense, represented by the Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Administration, Professor Lawrence Ezeoye, reiterated the commitment of his administration to academic excellence and commended the inaugural lecturer for contributing to scholarship.
The Vice-Chancellor's administration has been able to regularize the academic calendar of University of Benin. What it means, therefore, is that the possibility of reverting to our usual 3 months holiday is not far-fetched.
Some of the participants said the lecture is expository.
Make sure the women are examined often, and we encourage them to visit their doctor. And if the doctor finds anything, you should give them the encouragement to have the surgery.
On my part, examination of my breast, like within a very reasonable time.
Prof gave us information that if they may trace of getting cancer, breast cancer, so I have to watch what I do.
Women need public enlightenment. It will go a long way to reduce this scourge of breast cancer.
Professor Moses Momo joined the services of the University of Benin in 1993 and became a professor in 2012. He is the current dean of the School of Medicine in the institution. In Benin, Udrakobong Achibong, NTA News.
And still talking health, medical professionals champion advocacy on improved healthcare services as Benue State Police Command steps up effort to tackle crime. We now join Susan for details of these stories and other reports from Makudi. Hello, Susan.
Hello, Ronke, and welcome to Makudi. Medical professionals have called for sustained efforts to improve healthcare delivery in the country. Joseph Otsen reports that this was contained in a communique issued at the end of the 2016 Scientific Week of the Association held in Jalingo, the Taraba state capital.
The Nigerian Medical Association, as an umbrella body of medical practitioners, is always out to contribute its quota to the provision of quality healthcare services and the protection of the interests of the members. As part of activities marking the 2016 Scientific Conference and Annual General Meeting of the Taraba State branch of the association, a one-day medical treatment outreach was conducted in Jalingo, with residents benefiting. The Taraba State Chairman of the Nigerian Medical Association, Dr. Kenneth Tijos, said there were consultation, testing and treatment of disease conditions such as malaria, hypertension, viral hepatitis, diabetes, and HIV and AIDS. In Jalingo, Joseph Oten, NTA News.
Officers and soldiers of the Nigerian Army have been advised to be loyal to constituted authority and ensure professionalism in the discharge of their duties. The Commander, Corps of Engineers, Major General Edmund Obi, gave the advice at the rolling out of some generals in the Corps at the Nigerian Army School of Military Engineering, Makurdi. Gracie Chekwa has details.
The Nigerian Army Corps of Engineers are saddled with the task of providing the facilities to overcome obstacles and ease operations of other combat units of the military. The symbolic rolling out of some of the generals of the Corps was featured and a demonstration of one of such tasks. Major General Edmund Obi said there is need for the Nigerian Army and the military as a whole to imbibe professionalism, especially in the face of insecurity in the country. He congratulated the retired generals, urging those in service to build on the foundation laid by the retired generals.
Regimentation, we know, is an important aspect of military culture. This ceremony is part of the customs of the Nigerian Army and is a sign of respect.
The reviewing officer, Major General Panebi Ikumwenen, stressed the need for Nigerian Army officers and soldiers to embark on
combat the menace.
Thank God, thank everyone that has come today to join us to identify and focus solutions to these problems.
Vice Chancellor of the Benue State University, Professor Msu Moses Kembe, and the Chairman, Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, Benue State Chapter, Bishop Mike Ango, were among various community leaders from local government areas in the state who promised to support the fight against vices. In Makurdi, Charles Abba, NTA News.
That does it from Makurdi. It's back to Ronke in Abuja for more on NTA Nationwide.
Thank you, Susan. And now from the world scene, Zambia's President Edgar Lungu promises free and fair elections ahead of Thursday's polls. And United Nations calls for ceasefire in Aleppo to allow restoration of water and